The video presentation is on financial reporting and analysis of supermarkets and grocery stores in Australia. The presentation is made by 3 students, namely Charmy, Pragnesh, Jayani, Khushi, Sachin, Doshi, and Sheikh, Yousuf, and their respective student IDs are mentioned. Hi, I'm Charmy Pragnesh Jayani, and I will start by overviewing of supermarket industry in Australia. The supermarket industry in Australia has been a significant contributor to country's economy. The supermarket industry brings forth $116.4 billion based on IBIS World Data 2021. Based on IBIS World Data, it shows that the industry is expected to grow at compound annual rate of 2.5% over next 5 years. The supermarket industry has highly competitive environment since consumer tastes and shopping habits have changed. The supermarket industry has been highly competitive with Coles and Woolworths dominating the whole market. This accounts to over 70% of share in the market. The next we will look about the industry outlook. The outlook for the supermarket industry in Australia is positive due to growth in population and demand for grocery products. Rise in online shopping and changing consumer behavior have contributed to the growth of the industry. Moreover, consumers are increasingly looking for convenience and value for money. Increase is expected to benefit from increasing consumer confidence since they are willing to spend on discretionary items. The products and markets have also contributed. For example, supermarket industry in Australia offers range of products which comprise of fresh produce, groceries and household items. The industry caters for various consumer segments which include high-end and budget-conscious consumers. If I talk about competitive landscape and operation conditions, the supermarket industry in Australia is highly concentrated with major players such as Woolworths and Coles. The two organizations account to over 60% of total industry revenue, with rest of the market being made for smaller players such as Costco, Aldi and IGA. The operation conditions has also contributed. For example, the IBIS World Data shows that supermarket industry is impacted by different external factors, regulatory environment. Australian supermarket industry is highly regulated with strict food safety, labeling and packaging regulations. Australian Competition and Consumer Commissions monitors industry to ensure business comply with regulations. Further, the presentation will be continued by Ms. Khushi Sachin Doshi.
I'm Khushi Doshi. Moving forward with the details of how financial and non-financial information are used to inform decision making. As per the research, we found out that both are equally important while decision making, because we have seen in the year of 2019 excess use of financial information made wrong decision, and excess use of both kind of information, financial and non-financial, are used very well. So, review of the annual report for the Coles and Woolworths, which shows that for Coles, quick ratio of 2020, which is 0.34, and current ratio for 2021, which shows 0.79. As compared to for Woolworths, current ratio of 2020 shows 0.74 and quick ratio for 2020, which is 0.32. Current ratio of the year 2021, which is 0.75, and quick ratio for 2021, which is 0.3. Profitability ratio, gross profit ratio, margin for Coles. Gross margin for Coles in the year of 2020, 23.3%, and net profit for margin for 2020, which is 3.35. For Woolworths, gross profit margin 2020, which is 25.22%, and net profit margin for 2020, which is 2.44%. So, continued ratio with efficiency ratio, inventory ratio, and assets turnover ratio. For Coles, inventory turnover ratio of the year 2020, which is 12.25, and assets turnover ratio for 2020 is 0.52. For Woolworths, inventory turnover ratio for the year 2020, which is 13.20, and assets turnover ratio for 2020 is 0.63. So, of overall, watching this, after comparing this all information, I am on the conclusion both financial and non-financial information are equally important while decision making.
Hello, I'm Sheikh Yousuf. Let's continue with the presentation. Non-financial performance. Goals 2021 Sustainability Report shows various initiatives and achievements in areas for responsible sourcing, waste reduction, and community engagement. The organization attained their goals to source 100% of their palm oil from sustainable sources and reduced their carbon emission carbon emission intensity by 49% compared to previous years. Supermarket invested $5.4 million in community initiatives and donated over 43 million meals for food rescue organizations. Woolworth's sustainability report states that it has different commitments: zero waste to landfill from their supermarkets and distribution centers, and reduced their greenhouse gas emissions by 13.8% compared to previous year. Both the companies has showed a great importance in sustainability of their companies and environment. Let's continue with COVID-19 impacts on selected companies. There was a huge surge in demand for significant items such as groceries, household supplies, and health and hygiene products resulted to increase revenue during pandemic. Annual report: the companies provided disclosure on estimated impact on pandemic on financial performance and judgments to assessing the impact. Let's continue with the recommendations. Based on the research, Woolworths proved to be better than Coles in performing financial activities in respect to profitability, efficiency ratio, and liquidity. Woolworth demonstrated stronger commitment to sustainability practice compared to Coles, which could be attractive socially responsible investors. Organizations required to prioritize their sustainability efforts and implement measures for mitigating negative impacts to operations on environment.